Hello everybody, this is Krista and welcome back to Adventures in Metaphysics. Today I just wanted to do a quick flip through of a new favorite of mine, the Light Sprite Tarot by C.A. Mallard? I think I'm saying that right. I haven't been keeping my cards in their box. I immediately made this bag for it with these cute little star charms because this felt really instantly connected to a spirit guide for me, so I wanted to immediately make it something special, and maroon is the color they wanted, so that's what we went with. Anyhow, I was gonna get the box down, but it's on a really high shelf that I don't know how I got it up there, but I cannot quite reach it, so I don't have that to show, nor do I have the guidebook, but it does come with a really nice guidebook that gives more than just like a few keywords on each of the cards. But I believe, I'm going to put the link down below where you can find it, but I believe the creator is C.A. Mallard. This is the first edition, gifted to me by the wonderful Andy, as I showed in that little unboxing I did probably like a month ago now, and this was one that a few people were very interested in seeing, so I wanted to show it because I've been using it a ton. It's been such a favorite. Yeah, so this is a first edition, and I do believe, I'm not sure if you can get copies of this edition still, but I do know there is a second edition coming out with some improvements, which is really exciting. Anyhow, let's get into the cards. They are printed on a really nice linen cardstock. If I'm getting a weird shadow, I'm filming right next to an open window. So also if there's any weird noise, that's why. But it's just such a nice day, and we haven't had nice weather in so long that I really wanted to stand in front of the window. So I apologize if you're seeing these like cross hatching. It's not part of the cards. It's because I have a screen on the window. So any of these, maybe I shouldn't have filmed in front of here, but we are rolling with it now. But these cross hatches are shadow. Let's see if I can see. Okay, anyway, we've got these really nice kind of almost like portal-like looking images on the back. And what I love about this deck, and you'll see in the images, is it feels like really energetically putting you into these natural scenes. It feels almost a little bit like fae energy or like spirit. It's really, really cool. So, let's just get into the cards. It is on a nice linen cardstock. They are easy to shuffle, but they really they're bendable and they bounce back, which is nice. All right, let's get the image in there. Oh my gosh, that shadow is really bad, huh? My apologies. But again, we're rolling with it. So, we're starting with our Fool. I love this image of just walking off this mushroom with this ladybug following behind. I think that is so funny, kind of replacing the usual cliff and dog we see. And our characters here are these lit up stick figures, almost like neon sign effect. It's really interesting. And they are almost shrunken down into the natural world. It reminds me a little bit of the movie A Bug's Life, where we get the perspective of how being in grass and being around other animals would look to bugs. That's kind of what it reminds me with these characters, but you see what I mean, where it almost feels like, because the characters are so indistinct, there's not really there's no face, no body features, they're just plain stick figures. It makes it very easy for me to put myself in these scenes. And I think that's why it feels the shrunken downness makes it feel connected to that fae energy, but it's very connected energetically, I feel. I don't know how else to explain that. The Magician. So here we have our 4 elements shown. It's this follows very, very closely to the Rider-Waite-Smith. I would be inclined to even call it a clone. The High Priestess. I love these luminescent mushrooms. I think that is so cool, and we still get our triple moon here. I just love the light shown in this deck. I think it's so interesting. The Empress. I love these blueberries on the side. It's so beautiful. And the little baby wrapped up in a leaf. Oh my gosh, that kills me. The Emperor. The Hierophant. I love that we still get that key image. And the daffodils. I love daffodils. That's what's really blooming this time of year here. And actually, the town I work in are really known for their daffodils. So there's this whole daffodil festival too, but it's really cool because all up and down the main street where the library is, this time of year there's like hundreds of daffodils bloomed. It's so pretty. The Lovers. I love the butterfly up here. I think that is so interesting. It kind of gives me the sense of, I like to see the Lovers as like the choices and commitments we make. And I like seeing because the butterfly, I feel like, really signifies transformation. And the butterfly doesn't get to really choose to go through that transformation, you know? So I feel like it kind of gives this idea of, yes, you have choices to make, but the option to not make the choice and to not make certain commitments, like, isn't there. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's kind of how I like to see that one. The Chariot riding the snail. I think that is so funny. Strength. Taming a little ant. The Hermit. I love that the lamp is this firefly. The Wheel. It looks like it's on one of those like garden sundials. That's kind of what I think that might be what that is. Justice. The little acorn caps. Are you kidding? It also reminds me of oh gosh, what is that land that Tinkerbell lives in? Like not in Peter Pan, but when there's all the other fairies too. But it reminds me of those Tinkerbell books and movies. I feel like this is kind of the world they live in too, because they're also kind of like shrunken down in nature. The Hanged One. I love that we have these chrysalises? Chrysali? I don't know how to say that. But they're there with him. So again, it's kind of that idea of transformation and just staying still to really think about how you are growing and changing. I think that's really cool. Death with the Scorpion. I love too how the flowers changed out for this some kind of bird skull, really kind of keeping that theme going on. Temperance with the shells. The Devil. The ivy being used, I think, is so interesting because while ivy is super beautiful, there's a lot of species that will grow on trees and really kind of suck the life out of trees, for lack of a better term. They kind of tend to like take over the root system. So I think that's a really interesting image to use there. The Tower. The Star. The Moon. I love how it looks like he's kind of like worshiping the moon. I think that's so funny. The Sun on a caterpillar. Oh, some of these just crack me up. Judgment with the bumblebee. Super interesting. As you can see, so one thing I will say about this deck is, I'm going to try and kind of shade it, but see, it doesn't seem like my camera's focusing, but it's really like some of the images seem like they almost get a little bit zoomed in too much, and they are like a little fuzzy. What I will say is that I follow the creator on Instagram, and when she released that she's putting out a second edition, she mentioned that kind of the biggest change was improving the picture quality so that it gets rid of that fuzziness. So if you were to order the second edition, I would assume that these images wouldn't be grainy or fuzzy anymore, which is really nice that she kind of addressed that, because I think that's my only complaint with this deck, honestly, because I love the linen cardstock, I love the idea and the pictures. It's just that some of the pictures are fuzzy, like almost too zoomed in. The World. All right, we are onto our wands with the Ace of Wands. 2. 3 of Wands. I love his leaf cape. So good. Four of Wands. Five of Wands. Six of Wands. Riding. I love the kinds of creatures that show up. I'm just loving. Seven of Wands. Eight of Wands. Again with those daffodils. Really cool. I like that idea with the Eight of Wands too, since the daffodils are a flower. They're usually kind of the first ones to grow as springtime approaches, and they really kind of go like 0 to 100. They just shoot up out of the ground. Nine of Wands. Ten of Wands. We've got our page. The Knight riding a lizard. Which is, I like that image because those kinds of lizards I feel like tend to move very quickly and sharply, which I think is perfect for the wand suit. The Queen of Wands, we've still got that sunflower in the background. And the King of Wands. Oh, with a little sleeping lizard. I've actually not noticed that before. Moving on to our cups. Yeah, see, this is another image that's really blurry. I love this deck so much. I'm curious to really see the second edition improvements. I don't know that it's one I'm going to order just because I feel so attached to this particular deck, but ooh, I do really want to see like the images unblurred, I guess. The Two of Cups. I love the blue jay in the background. I feel like I've probably had to have mentioned before the blue jays I get in my backyard. I have 7 that I feed, and they're waiting for me every morning. It is very cute. I feed them like sunflowers and cracked corn and stuff. Three of Cups. Four of Cups. 5. Six of Cups. I love this idea. It's like almost reminds me of those like little seed starting pods, the idea of new growth. I think that's really cool for the Six of Wands. I tend to think of it as nostalgia, but when you think about the things that you can be nostalgic about, especially like looking back to childhood and things, it's like things that you are kind of newly learning or that's newly growing. So I think that's a really cool idea. Seven of Cups. Eight of Cups. Nine of Cups. 10 of Cups. I love this like soft rainbow in the background. We've got our page with his fish and his little leaf cup. Knight of Cups on a dragonfly. I love that because they usually stay pretty close to the water. Queen of Cups. And King of Cups. Now we've got our swords. These are like little sewing needles and thimbles, which I think is so cute. It's the only thing that really kind of breaks from that natural theme though, which is interesting. It doesn't tend to bother me though, because I do think it's cute. Again, it gives that idea of Pixie Hollow. That's what it's called. Pixie Hollow is the place where Tinkerbell and all her friends live. But part of that is that they do like collect things from the like quote unquote human world as these treasures. So like collecting thimbles and needles would be like, they would look at them as treasures. So I think it's kind of funny to think of it that way. Three of Swords, very classic. Four of Swords. I love this kind of glowing yellow haze we have around the Four of Swords. It gives that idea of like recharging. Five of Swords. Six of Swords, that leaf boat. I love that leaf boat so much. 7. Eight of Swords, again, those like vines. Really interesting. 9 of Swords. 10 of Swords. Very classic image there. We've got our page. Knight of Swords. Oh, it's one of those really armored bugs, like what do they call them? We used to call them roly-polies. I don't know what their technical name is. I doubt it's roly-poly. But I don't quite know. Queen of Swords. I love all the butterflies around her. I think that is such an interesting way to look at the Queen of Swords. I haven't quite made my own opinion about it yet, but it's something, I don't know, I just love looking at that image and thinking about it. King of Swords. And finally, we have our pentacles, which are acorns, and I love that. The Ace of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. 4. 5 of Pentacles. 6. 7 of Pentacles. Really cool. It seems like they've like planted the actual symbol of the pentacles, which is the acorns, and they're sprouting into oak trees, which is really cool. And it's the other cool thing is that, you know, if you plant a tree from an acorn, that's gonna take forever to like form into a full-blown tree. So it really brings out that patience aspect, and that growth takes time, which I think is really cool. The 8 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. We've got our page. The Knight on a cricket. Interesting. The Queen. And the King of Pentacles. I've just been really enjoying this deck. It's such a good one. And Andy also edged it in this like really pretty blue color, which I think is fabulous. So this is the Light Sprite Tarot. And again, I will link the creator's website below, and you can see pictures. I'm very sorry that I don't have the box. I usually like to make sure I show the box so you can see what that looks like, but it's a very nice kind of magnetic, I don't think clamshell is the right term, but maybe so, you know, like that where it's magnetic on the long side, you know, it has the flap. It's a nice box and a nice guidebook it comes with, but it's a very easy and clear reader for me, and I just love that. It feels very, again, connected to all the things that I feel connected to. So it just feels perfect. Anyhow, I hope you all enjoyed that walkthrough. And if there's any other deck that I have shown recently, or, you know, if it was one that I also got in that box, or outside of that I haven't done a walkthrough of and you'd be interested of seeing, definitely let me know. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.